Right. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us for this update of our Metro Rapid. I am Giannis Banks, the Community Outreach Manager for Metro Rapid and the Green Line. We're going to keep everyone muted, and the chat feature is disabled until we can get the participation part of the update. Excuse me. If you're participating in Spanish, you should be hearing live Spanish translations at this time. And if you would like to listen to this meeting in Spanish, please click the interpretation button at the bottom of your screen and select the Spanish language option. We also have live closed captioning available in English. You can turn on this feature by clicking the CC button in the Zoom meeting toolbar, which is located in the bottom middle of your screen. And now I would like to introduce Catherine Gonzalez to lead off the presentation. So Catherine, take it away.
Let me unmute myself and start my video here. All right, well, hello everyone. I'm Catherine Gonzalez, and I've been a project manager at Capital Metro for about 5 years now, and I've been working on projects like the expansion of our Lake Line, Park and Ride. I worked on our remap system upgrade and the Norwood Transit Center. And recently I worked on our new battery electric bus yard at our North Operations facility. So now I get to manage the the MetroRapid lines that we are advancing with the Project Connect. And so there are 4 MetroRapid lines and 5 Park and Rides that are part of the project. In this slide, you can see the original Project Connect timeline, and the phase 1 MetroRapid lines are Pleasant Valley and Expo Center, and we're planning on having them in service by middle of 2023. And then the second phase would be the extension of the 803, the Menchaca Oak Hill line, and a gold line that we hope to have in service shortly after the first 2, sometime in 2024. Next. Okay, so the last time I updated you on MetroRapid in September, I provided a lot of details on the Pleasant Valley and Expo Center lines. So I'm only going to briefly go over those lines this time so we can spend more time on the other 2 lines. If you're interested in the previous presentation, you can look at the Get Involved page on the Project Connect website. And if you scroll down to the very bottom, there's an engagement library where you can access lots of materials and videos. So on Expo, this MetroRapid line provides an important connection from Northeast Austin to downtown. And along the way, it connects many growing residential areas with both medical and educational facilities. And it also passes by UT, the capital, goes through the middle of the Mueller development. It goes by the AISD's Delco Activity Center and also the Travis County Expo Center. Next. So to briefly recap, the Pleasant Valley line, this line provides high quality rapid transit service east of I-35, and it connects Northeast Austin with Southeast Austin and some of the fastest growing residential areas with commercial and educational facilities. This line begins in the Mueller development and connecting with the Expo line, and it goes by the Springdale Shopping Center, the Austin Lighthouse for the Blind, Dove Springs neighborhood, and Easton Park and Goodnight Ranch, where it ends on the southern end. Next. So the characteristics of the MetroRapid service on all 4 lines is that it provides 10-minute peak service on weekdays and 15-minute service on the weekends. This is consistent with the 801 and 803 MetroRapid lines. And we're very proud that all the new MetroRapid vehicles will be zero-emission electric buses. What you see here is a picture of one of our new electric buses that's currently in service. And by 2023, Capital Metro expects to transition all our vehicles to zero emissions. So our buses will travel in mixed travel lanes, but we will have transit signal priority and transit priority lanes in some areas. So we're working closely with the City of Austin Transportation Department on locating where signal priority and priority lanes would be most effective. The transit priority lane we are planning is in the downtown area. Go to our next slide. All right, so something new that I'm happy to share with you is the concept of what our new MetroRapid stations will look like. And so that's the image on the right. We responded to comments we received in previous meetings by creating a large scale for like downtown locations, and then a smaller scale version of what you see here for neighborhoods. We will make these stations run on solar power wherever it's possible. We plan on having cameras for security and also dynamic message screens with real-time arrival and transfer information. We'll have ticket vending machines at key locations like at our park and rides. And finally, the image on the left is some of the public art that we have on one of our local bus stop shade screens. And we have the ability to do that at all our metro stations or MetroRapid stations as well. We really enjoy working with and paying local artists through our MetroRapids program, Metro Arts program, like we've done here at the Norwood Transit Center. So next. All right, so some comments on the budget and schedule for these projects. So on Expo in Pleasant Valley, we are able to cover half of the project cost through federal grants. And then we also have pending applications for the other lines and the park and rides. The image you see here is the the Expo Center groundbreaking that was held on December 15th. And we will be holding the Pleasant Valley groundbreaking on February 16th. And I'd like to extend an invitation to everyone to come join us. We'll be at Craig Field at 10 a.m. and that's located on Pleasant Valley, just slightly north of Lakeshore and Longhorn Dam, or south of Longhorn Dam. And then we'll be rolling from station to station and under construction for the next year and a half. So next slide. So now I can introduce you to some more detail on the Menchaca and Oak Hill extension. So this MetroRapid line will extend the 803 with a transfer at the Westgate Transit Center. And one of the legs goes down Menchaca to Slaughter. And just like Pleasant Valley and Expo, it'll have 10-minute peak weekday service. And the Oak Hill leg will be implemented in coordination with TxDOT and their large 290 Oak Hill Parkway project. So now I'm going to walk you through the actual station locations. So next slide. So the Menchaca leg, it runs exclusively on Menchaca, south to Slaughter. There'll be 7 station pairs, with the first pair at Jones Road, where you can connect to a major bikeway, residential areas, and also Jones Road heads to Sunset Valley. So next slide. So the next stations are at Stastny, where you can make a connection to ACC South or Crockett High School. Then the south of that is our Berkeley station pair, where the Headwater School and Cunningham Elementary are located. So the next one, we have our William Cannon station pair, and there you can make connections to our other high frequency crosstown routes and a lot of different shopping and retail areas. Gaines Mill is the location where there's a post office, another school, and more residential areas. Next. All right, so the Davis-Ditmar stop is a location where there's yet another Montessori school and residential, but this is an important east-west route that connects Mopac to Congress. Okay, next. All right, and at the end of this leg, we reach Slaughter, where there's a HEB and a large entertainment district. And if you see the purple area shown here, this is our pickup zone. So you are able to make connections with pickup service to go to additional locations. We're currently looking for a location for our electric bus charging at the end of this line. So next. Now let's review the Oak Hill leg, where there'll be another 7 station pairs. And from the Westgate Transit Center, we're going to head west with the first stops at Westgate Road, where the Central Market South is located. And then Brody, which is a major shopping destination with a Walmart. But there's also the Violet Crown Trail to Barton Creek that's accessible from this station. Next. All right. At Monterey Oaks, you've got small middle school, multifamily housing, Baylor Scott and White Hospital, and the Social Security Administration offices are there as well. Tongue twister. Old Fredericksburg. There's a post office, and the YMCA is located there. And finally, William Cannon, we hit William Cannon on both sides of this line. And at the west connection, we connect to shopping areas and multiple major employers. You see the area in purple on this slide is also our Metro pickup service, where you can get picked up and go to multiple other locations in the community. So we're currently looking at the best ways to serve the Oak Hill Plaza area and our existing park and ride at the Pinnacle. So there's more to come at our next update. All right. So now let's look at the Gold Line. And I'll just get down into the details. Well, we are using local funds on this route because someday in the future, we're planning on this becoming light rail. And it also provides excellent service to downtown. So let's go to the next slide. So on the north end of this line, we're at the Highland station, where we have Capital Metro's Red Line Highland station, so you can connect to the Red Line rail. And of course, there's the ACC Highland campus and multiple shopping areas. The next station pair south is at 53.5, and that's where Travis County currently has their facilities. And there's also a new development underway in this area. Let's keep going down. At 45th, there's multifamily housing and then access to the neighborhoods in the area. Next. Okay, so the next station pairs at Hancock Center. And finally, we've got, or not finally, but the south of that, we are at St. David's Medical Center. And at Dean Keaton is where we are just north of the UT campus. But at this point, we're running along the same route as the Expo line. Okay. So you'll see here, the next station pairs in the heart of the university at the stadium. And then we go south to a pair of stations at the Dell Medical Center, medical school rather. And then south of that, we've got our Waterloo Park Station, which is right by the Capitol. Next. Okay, then we have our 8th Street station, where there are connections to multiple other routes. We have a current station that we're upgrading at this location. At Brush Square, we've got the connections to our future orange and blue light rail lines. And then there's also the convention center and a connection to our downtown station and the red line. Then we head west to Republic Square, where we've got future orange and blue connections, and currently they're the 803 and 801 current MetroRapid lines connect at this point, and you can also make connections to Metro Express routes at Republic Square. Okay, next. So let's talk a little bit about the park and rides. So there are 4 park and rides planned, 4 to 5, and and these would be new park and rides. And you can see at the Expo Center, we're working closely with Travis County and the City of Austin on a 150 space park and ride. And that's where the Expo line begins. At the Delco Center, we're in conversations with AISD, the Austin Independent School District, to lease some spaces from them for a park and ride. And then as we head south, we at the very end of the Pleasant Valley line, we are working closely with the Goodnight Ranch community to install a park and ride at that location. Just a little bit north of that, northeast, we're looking for good locations for a park and ride that could serve Easton Park. And then finally on the Gold Line, somewhere in that area around Highland, and we're looking for a location for a park and ride as well. So next slide, I'm going to hand this over to Becca, and we'd like to get your thoughts on the type of amenities that you'd like to see at our park and ride transit centers and stations. So Becca, go ahead.
Thank you. So at this time, we're going to go ahead and transition over to our Mentimeter activity. So give me just a second and I will get us going with that.
Now, for some of you out there, you may see menti.com and the code 34719215, and you can absolutely go to menti.com and log in that way. For those of you with a smartphone, you might just take a picture of that QR code and you can join us there immediately. And every time you do, my heart fills a little bit larger. My heart is 9 times bigger than it was when I first came on screen because of you logging in to Menti and letting us know what you think. Again, for those who can't see the screen, you can go to Menti, which is MENTI.com, and the number is 34719215. And the best thing about Menti is you don't even have to be logged into Zoom to participate. So if you're watching on Twitter or on Facebook today, you can log into Menti and let us know what you think as well. Now, I know we've got about 32 people in the room today, just in Zoom, and we're hoping to get a more representative sample before we move on. So if you've been sitting on the sidelines, this is a good time to log in to Menti. We're going to walk through a few different amenities that people have talked about over the years for park and rides, and try to get a sense of which things mean the most to you. So we really hope that you'll take a moment and join in and let us know what you think, just using your cell phone. How are we doing on numbers now? Getting close?
We've got about 17 people in.
Okay. I feel like I want 3 more people. We need to get into the 20s at least.
Lonnie won't be happy unless we get into the 20s.
Also, while we're doing this, you're giving us plenty of time to look at the Q&A and look into your questions and provide answers. Also, for those of you who don't feel comfortable writing in a question, we will make it possible to open up mics after this presentation, and so that way you can ask some questions live. Well, it looks like we have a pretty good group. Again, you can join anytime at menti.com. Did you want to go ahead and show that first question, Becca?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get started.
All right. So just as promised, we want to know what amenities would improve your experience. And we have several amenities here. We're going to break this up into 3 different groups. And what we're asking you to do is give us a score. What's the range, Becca? Is it 1 to 5?
1 to 4.
1 to 4. So not against one another, just on a scale of 1 to 4, with I guess 1 being lowest and 4 being the highest marks for it. How important each of these amenities are to you? We've kind of done like head-to-head battle, Kat. So a lot of these amenities are really focused on, lighting and, shade, things that we've heard about. So we're trying to keep some of these things separate. Like if you had to compare, is it really more about the seat or about the heat? Is it really that you need light so you can see and be seen, or is the light something you need for security? That we're trying to distinguish what the needs are in the community with these different amenities that are here. See, how are we doing?
It looks like we have a good amount of votes in. We have 26 right now.
It makes you wonder how these things might change from different parts of the year. I mean, right now I'm freezing cold, right?
Yeah.
A little less worried about some of these things.
Yeah.
We've got like 27 people in Menti now, so like a pretty good group of people.
Lonnie's happy.
Being part of it. Yeah. Well, I'm not happy unless everybody who participates gets a chance to weigh in. And that's really why we're doing this today. Well, did you want to slide over to the next one, Becca?
Yes. Let's go.
We got enough people. All right. So a lot of this is about technology. Again, same question. What amenities would improve your experience? We've got ticket vending, dynamic message screens with real-time arrival information. We've got Wi-Fi, electrical outlets, and electric car or electric wheelchair charging. I think of those as pretty equal in my book. And so again, we're looking at technology. Which technologies really will help you in your everyday using the system? You know, which ones would you actually use versus, you know, nice to have? I don't know, Kat, you're a regular MetroRapid user, yes?
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I've been on some of those buses that have the new USB ports in it.
I know.
And the thing, it's always kind of a crapshoot, right? So I never really remember to bring my charging equipment with me.
Yeah. Our new electric buses are beautiful and very handy.
Well, it's nice to know when you have these choices, because once we've really settled on the amenities that are most important to the largest group of people, then you can plan every time, like, oh, there's Wi-Fi every time, or there's electricity every time. And right now, because you never really know, you're not necessarily prepared depending on the vehicle that comes down the road. Well, let's see, I have 24 people already participated in this survey. All right, we're doing great. Then let's slide over to the next one, shall we?
All right, so this will be our last question.
All right, and so some of these amenities have come by request. Some of them have come from our own team, and we wanted to check which ones matter to you. So, and what amenities would improve your experience? We've got water fountains, restrooms, public art, Metro bike facilities, and bike lockers. And you know, we had a little bit of a back and forth about you know, separating out bike lockers from Metro bike, because for a lot of people those are the same thing.
Man, I was rooting for public art. Did it went from #1 down to to last?
Well, you know, having worked with the Metro Arts team, you know, Metro Art really does a great job of really creating a sense of place, creating a dignified place to wait for the bus. And also, you know, as an aside, people are much less likely to deface the bus stop if it does reflect local art. You know, not, you know, big national providers, but, you know, people within our community who've created outstanding artwork throughout our system. And we're planning to increase that no matter what, but we wanted to compare this to some of these other amenities too.
Yeah, I love just looking at the artwork while I'm waiting. You see details that, you know, if you're there long enough, you're like, wow, I never even noticed that detail.
And then it looks like we've got a lot of people have already participated, which is exciting. I know that we'll be coming back to you as part of the Project Connect process. You know, right now we've been really focusing on station locations and route specific information, but not really the look and feel and design of each of these programs. So MetroRapid is a little bit ahead of the curve in showing what the prototype of a station would look like. But for those of you who have been watching all of our programs, we'll have more time to take a deeper dive into what specific park and ride facilities look like. And if we decide to use some of these amenities, how we would incorporate them in the building. So thanks for taking a moment just to help us clarify the community priorities and also spreading the word to others to let us know what you think.
I like Metro bikes up there too.
I'm personally looking forward to more electrics.
Yeah, that's great.
Is that our last question for today, Becca?
Yes.
Okay, so I think we're done here. Have we got a little more presentation, or are we getting ready for Q&A?
I believe we have our opportunities to share feedback.
Great. Well, let's see. I guess Mr. Banks.
Yeah.
You want to take us away on Q&A, and I'll close my camera.
I was enjoying the commentary between y'all three. It was very entertaining.
Happy to help. Happy to help.
So these are opportunities that you can share your feedback. Of course, there's the Get Involved page on the Project Connect website, which is projectconnect.com/get-involved. Other ways to do it is feedback@capmetro.org. If you're more into that personal touch and you want to write a hand letter, we welcome that as well. You can mail it to Project Connect planning team at Capital Metro, 607 Congress Avenue, Austin, Texas, 78701. Or if you just want to reach out and touch on the phone, you can call the Project Connect hotline, 512-369-7719. And just let you know, materials are available in English and Spanish online. Once again, at the Project Connect Get Involved page, projectconnect.com/get-involved.
And
that's
Giannis, I know that we're going to be sliding over to Q&A, and
Mhm.
that people have been adding their questions to the Q&A in the background. We'll probably start with those, but I would encourage you, if you're in the audience, in the bottom of your screen, there is an opportunity to raise your hand. If you have your hand raised, we can recognize you and turn on your microphone so you can ask questions live as well. But in the meantime, we've got that initial Q&A to go through with Giannis, and I think Kat and perhaps Roberto are going to be helping answer questions live tonight. So start thinking about.
I think this first question will probably be for Catherine, and Roberto may be able to chime in to help.
Yes.
It says, how did we decide the stops? Are we taking into account access to food and healthcare in determining stops?
Okay, well, I know our Project Connect team spent many public engagement sessions getting input on route direction and station location. And then after that, we worked with Roberto and the planning team to really narrow down the locations. Roberto, do you want to talk about some of the information we use?
Sure. You know, as the person pointed out, there were important considerations such as activity centers that you pointed out, schools, grocery stores, shopping centers, connectivity to some of our high frequency network is out in existence. And so we've done as much work as we can in detail in the street and in the field, trying to do, as you said, take what we had heard initially from the public and refine them and get down to the really finite details of exactly where we should be. But this is an opportunity also for us to seek some feedback and see, are there some points of interest that perhaps we are not aware of, or that we'd like to see us point or have some future attention towards that? That would be very, very welcome on our end.
Anything, were you about to add anything to that, Captain, or? I just saw you pop up on the screen, so.
Oh, no, I've been up on the screen, but you know, since I did get a chance to share the initial ideas for station locations on our Menchaca Oak Hill line and Gold line, we would love to hear the public's opinion on those locations.
Okay, and that they can send to feedback@capitalmetro.org or use any one of those previous contact information. So
yeah,
or you can raise your hand and tell us about it today. That's what we're here for.
As well, yes. If you have a thought for that, please raise your hand and let us know. We want to hear that from you. This is also a good time to do that. But if you're a little shy, we understand. There's different ways you can do it. But you know, hopefully you'll use your voice and let us know today. Now, the other question we have is, do funding sources affect how BRT lines could transition to LRT in the future?
Yes, it does. You know, when you get, especially federal grant money, the expectation is those facilities will stay as they were constructed for a long time. So when we're considering transitioning from one mode to the other, like in the Gold Line case, we're going to wait to apply for grant funding for that line until the future.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Now, are there any hands raised that I can't see, Lonnie, or?
No, not yet. It looks like most of the people have been submitting questions in the Q&A.
Mhm.
And although since, I spoke too soon, since we specifically asked for a hand raise, it looks like Robert Bowler raised his hand. So maybe we can let him talk and lead us off on this. Are you ready?
Let's get Robert Moeller on down.
All
He's
right,
the
Robert, you're on.
first
Hey, y'all can hear me
contestant.
okay?
Yes, sir. We
Yes.
can.
Sweet. I figured I'd use multimodal, input here since we're on transit call. Yeah, thanks so much. This is all just really exciting to see come together and so quickly. Like this is such a short timeline for transit stuff to see it coming in. My question is kind of a wordy one in the chat, so I was going to try and provide an example. Is about routing technology. So like how Cat Metro with Metro Bike and with the pickup system is quickly, much more than like a bus and a train provider. It's this multimodal system. And I know that you can buy tickets for, Metro Bike in the Cat Metro app, but I'm wondering, I mean, what's in the works right now to where in the Cat Metro app or a partner app, I could say something like, I want to get from here to here, and I might be presented with an option that's like, you can take a pickup to this rapid station, which then goes to your work. So I'm going from my front door, like pickup to me is such a magic connection for a spread out city like Austin. So are there any like routing tech improvements there for that? And you can imagine other pairings with Metro Bike.
Well, yeah, actually, I could mention, you can currently do trip planning using either catmetro.org or the Cat Metro app and include a bike to bus or bus to bike option. Also, bus to pickup. I think where you're speaking about the multimodal, where you're saying I bike to the bus and then use pickup, that multi-layer isn't in place yet. But at this point, you can plan trips in advance using pickup and or using Metro Bike as part of your trip.
And I know making it one app is something that we are working on to make it seamless, which I think might be part of your question as well, is that we're working on to get it to be one app so you don't have to open up the pickup app once you need to get on, and then the Metro Bike app. We're working on integrating that all together, but you know how technology is when you want them to talk together. Sometimes they don't want to cooperate.
One thing I did want to mention, it doesn't answer the software app question, but we are expanding the Metro Bike system with our MetroRapid lines, and we're installing more Metro Bike kiosk that are all accessible from your phone as we build out the MetroRapid program. So you're going to see a lot more opportunities to just pick up a bike and go. And then another thing that we're really happy about is that we have bike racks on all of our vehicles. So, and we're getting larger bike racks because we find a lot of our riders love having the ability to bike to the station, ride, and then again, bike to their final destination.
That's fantastic. Thanks.
Thank you for your question. We have a question from Scott Morrison. I would like to know, why go to the expense of building the Gold Line twice instead of waiting to build it as a light rail for the first time around?
Yeah, well, the planning team might want to help me with this one, but I do know that it's a common progression to start with the rubber tired option, build ridership to the point where it makes financial sense to install light rail. So we're kind of following through that progression on the Gold Line. Did Roberto, do you have anything to add?
No, Catherine, that's perfectly along the lines of what we've been doing to date and what we should expect to see going into the future.
Yeah, in fact, the Orange Line is following our very successful 801 MetroRapid line.
Yeah, thank you. And then Anonymous would like to know, Can you speak to the City of Austin anti-displacement tool developed for Project Connect? How will that be implemented for these or other lines?
Mhm.
And I know that's something we've been working on with the CAC, the Community Advisory Committee,
Yeah.
which they meet once a month. I don't know which, I think they've changed the date now, Lonnie. Have they not, to a different date and different time?
Mhm.
But they're working on figuring out how that funds will be used. And those meetings are open to the public. And they're always looking for public feedback to give input on that, but they'll be working with the city to help them make those decisions on how that money can be best used, and we get the biggest bang from that with helping people out.
Giannis, I'll just add that,
Hey.
the city of Austin has just launched a website for the anti-displacement strategies, the equity tool that's been developed, and some of the allocations that they're planning. I think that just launched last week, so I encourage people to go visit the website. I'll look it up and put it in the chat for us.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then I saw you unmute yourself, Lonnie, so I didn't know if there was anything you were about to add or.
Oh, I'm just putting a link to the CAC landing page into the chat.
Gotcha.
So that way you can follow those meetings. And to answer your question, you're right. They have been meeting on the 4th Wednesday of each month, and they will be meeting on February 23rd of this month. But starting in March, they're moving to the 2nd Thursday of the month. And so that'll be on March 9th. So there'll be 2 in a row real quickly.
Hey.
So if you miss them in February, you'll be able to catch them again in like just a week after that.
And once again, they have an opportunity for public comment. So definitely come out and express your thoughts and opinions and what you would like to see. Now, Megan would like to know, she says, I'm not sure if this is the right meeting to ask, but who deals with creating bike lanes? I love the bike lane near downtown, near East 4th, she thinks, that is separate from the
That's it.
road. Can Austin build more bike lanes separate from the road?
Yeah. So my involvement in bike lanes is working really closely with the city of Austin and their the transportation department. And why is the mobility group name escaping my mind? It's what happens at public meetings. But there's the city has a really great staff that is working closely with Capital Metro to make sure that the bike lanes work together with our MetroRapid stations, and they are working hard on getting more bike lanes similar to the one that you love throughout major corridors, and just making this a safer city to bike in. Active transportation. Thank you.
We all have those moments.
I know. I got to have at least one of them.
I've seen lawyers have mental breakdowns during questionings, and yeah, it's always fun. So, what can you do?
So Nadia has her hand raised. She's also very bike knowledgeable. I bet she has something she'd like to add.
Sure.
There I am. Hi.
Yeah.
So the city is actually going through, and I'll put the link in the chat, but the city is going through a public process right now for you to tell them where to put bike lanes. So you can add to their map and let them know. So I'll put the link in the chat, and it's an interactive map where you say, this is where I want more bike lanes, and you can, and they'll put it in their plan.
Uh-huh.
Awesome. Thank you. Now, here's another question that even involves pickup. Is there a magic number of how many more pickup lines there will be?
I might let Roberto answer that, but I think the answer is no. There is no magic number, but.
Yeah, thanks, Catherine. No, there's not a magic number right now, but we do have a very strong and active team that is working to build up that program. I mean, it's, as one of the persons on this presentation stated, it's been a game changer for us. It helps us reach areas that traditionally have been very hard for us to serve with bus. There are areas that at one time had bus, and it just wasn't the right fit, and pickup has been able to be that for us. So I expect us to see more those area types of services, especially as we look to make those final connections to some of our services. And I think you'll start to see more of them as we turn on these new MetroRapid lines. But we always welcome your feedback, and we enjoy collecting information from neighborhoods and around the community as to where we may be in need of something like that.
Mhm. And all our pickup information is found on capmetro.org/pickup if you want to see more information about the routes and what's coming up. Now, Megan has another question. She says, also, is there a bus route being developed to better get to Barton Springs, Zilker? I live in Cherrywood near Bean New Coffee.
Good
And
place.
if I were to take the bus, it would take over an hour.
Yeah.
I don't want to bike because there are no bike lanes on that 2-lane road into Zilker. Would the bus route connecting northeast to southeast you spoke about help me with this?
I know that the Expo line has a pair of stations at Cherrywood and Manor. But I think Roberto and the planning can help.
Yeah, I mean, that's an excellent question. I mean, for anyone who lives in this community, they see the value that our parks have for our community. And fortunately, we recently had a really good conversation and a positive conversation with our partners at the Parks and Recreation Department. They're actually looking at an improvement and as part of their master plan to kind of improve the roadway through the park, including some bike lanes, helping us improve our transit stops, bringing sidewalks, making things just generally safer for people to cross the street there as they move from one end to the next. And transit was one of these important elements where they really, really wanted to hear what we had to say. And we believe that with working in partnership, we may be able to do better than what we know we can do better than we've been doing right now. And as you start to see the rollout of more services with the introduction of MetroRapid and ultimately with rail, you'll start to see more efforts being made to make things more frequent and just a better experience for everyone overall. That has been a challenge for us in that area just to make better bus stops. I mean, if you look throughout our community, we have made a number of improvements to our bus stops to make sure that they are fully accessible. They have landing pads, that we bring amenities, and Zilker has been a challenge, but we see a lot of good positive things coming up in the near future for us.
Awesome.
And don't forget, during special events, I mean, we do enhance our services in and around that area. It's just as we coordinate with PARD, that's going to be one of the things that we've mentioned to them is we can do our part, but we will need very, very close relationships with them to help prioritize our service to and through the area, especially during some of these events.
Thank you, sir. And I know our planning team also appreciate any feedback you can give at feedback at capmetro.org, that website as well. So keep with your questions here, but if you have any thoughts or questions, that email address can catch a lot of different questions you can have, and we can get it sent out to the appropriate groups. Now, Andrew has a question, and he says, is there going to be a meeting focusing on Metro bike expansions? Who would like to take this question? Yeah, I know we're going to be having more meetings, and we'll be putting out there the different services and different things we'll have meetings on. There's some stuff that's in the work, but no dates definite at the moment for some of the meetings we want to have that we're working on having. And so I guess the answer is yes. Just pay attention to either the Project Connect page or Cap Metro's website and Twitter feed, and we can get that information out to you. But as of this moment, there is no specific date.
I was just going to piggyback on what you said, Giannis, and let the Project Connect watchers in the audience know that there was a Metro Bike and Pickup meeting scheduled last week. And right before we went live, there was some information that we needed to wait. It would be better if we waited a little bit so that way our new dashboard was up and working before we started talking about something that wasn't on our website. So there were some more updates on the back end that we needed to do before we could do the broadcast with you, but that is coming. And as people brought up tonight, Metro Bike and Pickup are a very big piece of how you get around. And even those who are riding Metro Rail or Metro Rapid use those services. So we know that it's important to you, and there will be a broadcast about that and an opportunity to talk about changes for the program coming soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you. This next question says, is
Uh-huh.
there going to be any meetings in the future for the Lakeline station?
So I kind of wondered, like, was it relative to service on the Red Line or the facilities at Lakeline?
Yeah, if anonymous, if you can maybe
Mhm.
expand on your question a little bit, and feel free to turn the mic on. I know you were anonymous, but if you want to raise your hand and turn on the mic, we'll be glad to have that conversation with you and see if the future Metro Rapid route.
Okay.
That one was not a part of the initial investment, if I remember correctly. And so that would have to come up when we find more funding for the full plan. We do have a Metro Rapid route that would be coming from there. That's a part of the full plan for Project Connect. But for the initial investment, that route wasn't a part of the vote in November. So we wouldn't have a date on that for the Metro Rapid route. There could be some Metro Rail updates that could happen there, but
Right.
for Metro Rapid, yeah, there's not a date at this moment for that.
And of course, there's also Metro Express service as well.
And that could be an update in itself as well. I think we'll see more Metro Express service, of course, once the city opens back up, once we open back up and get through this pandemic or epidemic or whatever we're in now. I think you'll see more of our Metro Express services coming back online. And we can have some more conversations about those as well. Andrew would like to know, how late will the BRT lines run? I know I've been stranded downtown when the red line stops.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, 10-minute during peak hours. And, right now, the peak hours we're looking at somewhere between, what we currently have on the 801, 803. And, as seeing what the future holds, those peak hours could be broader. Roberto, do you have any sense of
Sure.
what we might be looking at?
Yeah, I mean, ideally we want to be operating, throughout the day and into the evening, late night. And prior to the pandemic, both 801 and 803 were operating till 3 in the morning on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. Unfortunately, we had to curtail that just in the last year, just because of limited resources and as the city has kind of closed in. But we're hoping to bring back that late night service on those services, and then ultimately also introduce that as part of the Pleasant Valley and Expo and the other lines. So the ultimate goal is to have almost round the clock service, almost every day of the week. And we will get there. We just had a small stumble with the pandemic right now, but we were well on our way just prior to that. And we'll get back to that.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. This next question is for Andrew. He got so excited about the Pleasant Valley groundbreaking that he took the day off.
Yeah.
Now he is having a doctor's appointment, but we know
Yeah.
he took it off for the groundbreaking
Yeah.
first and then made his doctor's appointment. So he wants to know, some more about it so he could possibly attend.
Yeah. So I do know it's at 10 a.m. on the morning of the 16th, and Krieg Field, which is spelled Kreig, I believe. And so and it's just south of the river and Longhorn Dam on Pleasant Valley. Now, Giannis, do we have anything posted on the Project Connect site with the details?
I am looking now. I think some stuff has started to go out about it. I know some invitations have gone out. I believe there's been some social media posts maybe about it. And I'm looking now on
I'm guessing that we're going to be in the parking area close to where the fire department training tower is. Is that the correct location?
It's somewhere in that general area, yeah, close to the front. There is some information about the get involved page about it. Well, it's not much. It's just saying TBD, which will get updated soon. So you can have more information. We'll work with the marketing team, communication team to get that updated. But it'll be about right there where you turn into the parking lot, and we'll have signs and banners up directing people where to park. It's going to be a little chilly, possibly.
Really?
Out there, a little cold out there. So if you do come, I do know we'll have space heaters or I guess some heating units, what have you. But just make sure you dress warmly. And of course, with anything in Texas, pay attention to the weather. Because I think, from what we saw from the last time I looked, it can be from anywhere between the 30s or the 60s. And so
sounds like Texas.
Right. As we get closer, we'll figure out what it is, or we'll know better what the temperature will be like. But rain, sleet, or snow, we should be out there for that groundbreaking. And we picked that spot just because it was harder to find a central spot or a spot along the route. So this is something where we can get folks from all over can come here and have space for people to participate in the groundbreaking.
Yeah. So Andrew, if you do come by and say hello, introduce yourself to me, because I'd like to meet you in person. And I saw, I think Roberto put in the chat that it's right on the Route 300, which is a high frequency 15-minute route that goes from Westgate Transit Center all the way to Crestview.
All right.
Yeah.
And I'm looking, are there any more questions? And once again, feel free to raise your hand. If you have, here we go. It's from Kale. Will the Gold Line BRT route through downtown be affected by potential tunnel construction, I should say, on 4th Street?
Yeah, it'll be the Gold and the Expo routes that would be affected. And yeah, so we're already looking at ways that we could run that same service and serve most of those station pairs and make our way to Republic Square during construction. It's going to be challenging, but we'll definitely be posting any long or short-term detours for the routes, on our app.
Yeah, and go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I thought I'd see if anyone else on our team knew more about it than that.
No, I will say that, like you mentioned, Catherine, it's going to be a challenge for us, just like any construction in downtown is. We'll do our best in working with the city and with our partners at ATP to coordinate detours. And they're likely to look at phasing portions of that, and that's going to be what we'll look for, any opportunity to make sure that, like you said, that we can get to and from Republic Square and connections to all of our services.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And then that's brings up a good point about how the MetroRapid will be connected to the orange and the blue line right there downtown. So even if you're not along the corridor for the orange and blue, we can still get you connected to that. So
well, and then the Pleasant Valley route intersects with the blue line at Riverside. So that's a great connection. So look forward to that.
So once again, go to the Project Connect page, projectconnect.com/get involved. You can see some more of the upcoming meetings we'll have, whether it's the groundbreaking or some of the working groups we have. Definitely encourage you if you're interested in any of those working groups, to join those. And just other events we have coming up. We can only do as good as we hear from you. And we want to hear from you as much as possible. There's no such thing as too much feedback from the community. Definitely want to thank y'all for tuning in tonight. We know you could be watching anything else right now, but you chose to hang out with us, and for that we are grateful. Yeah, with that said, Catherine, anything else you want to add to it before we get out of here?
No, I just appreciate everyone's interest in the MetroRapid lines, and we love to hear your thoughts. So do not hesitate to get involved site and reach out to us anytime.
And this is the first of a quarterly update. We'll be back again sometime in the fall to do another update where we will have more information and more pictures for you as well of what's going on. So we're excited, and we're glad you're excited.
Yeah, definitely.
I just wanted to piggyback on before we go, just reminding people again, you can get everything at the Project Connect website, get involved, and go down to the bottom of the page to the engagement library. You'll get to see this recording, but also our slide deck from tonight's presentation. So if it all went a little too quickly, you can take a deeper dive and let us know what you think about the station locations, or if you have any other concerns or requests. But again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And thank you, Jonas, for being our host.
And thanks for the thanks.
Thank y'all. Y'all have a good night.
Bye.